Sun Pluto aspects. This is a very interesting thing to talk about because the sun is something that is bright and near to us, and Pluto is something that is very far away. And Pluto's distance speaks to a level of deep psychology. Pluto's distance also speaks to its level of influence over a certain span of a generation. So when you have Sun and Pluto aspects in your chart, you're going to find that there are layers to this shit. So the first thing that I wanted to talk to you about was the concept of identity and how the identity is always searching with the Sun Pluto aspects, always searching for itself and what itself truly is. And it's always looking for it in people that may reflect toxic or be a toxic mirror, as whatever it is that you are in alignment is only going to show to you where your own toxicity is. So it's in this searching with the Sun and Pluto aspect that the true toxicity begins to grow, and it continues to grow. But that's okay. It's not about what is right or wrong, because the whole idea here with Pluto is that it's psychological and the search actually needs to happen. So this is what we sign up for with this placements, with these aspects, is that you sign up to search through the trash. You sign up to go through somebody else's trash. And whatever metaphor or manifestation that could be for you, symbolically or realistically, you sign up to do that work. And it's a messy, ugly, stank job. So the Sun Pluto aspects are ones that come with a lot of challenges, but in understanding that the challenges are always gifts of bringing up things to consciousness that you can choose to eliminate or choose to understand deeper and deeper about you, so that the identity is actually being cleansed. The identity itself is being purified so that you can truly unveil the true treasure of who you are. But the thing that I've just realized personally that we miss with the Sun Pluto aspects is that it's about recognizing pain and recognizing what is painful and what isn't. The Sun Pluto aspects, especially the more challenging ones like the squares and the oppositions, can have a deep addiction to pain. It can almost be something that could be euphoric or sexually get off of on the sense of pain. So it's your life and you choose the way that you want to live it. But there's this aha here that I have with the fact that we can choose to love ourselves and become a wholeness of identity by being the identity of love. Meaning that in any situation, you are weighing if it's good for you based off of how painful it feels. And if it feels painful, then that's not it. And this is going to be so simple, but for these placements, it can be one of the hardest things to recognize, because you may be more addicted to the search. You may be more addicted to keep going and going and going. But there comes a point where you are standing right in between happiness and what has already manifested, what has already been of the past. Because, Pluto is a modern ruler of Scorpio, which is a fixed sign. So there's a level here where the search is fixed. The search can be fixed. And we can get lost in the search. And through all this toxicity, unveiling and uncovering all of the things, all of the taboos, all of the hidden secrets. And maybe that is the happiness, the search, but maybe it's not. Maybe the other happiness is just choosing love. So that whenever you are confronted with something that is painful, Sun opposing Pluto, for instance, a confrontation that is painful, do you choose the confrontation? And do you say to the confrontation, let me dig into why this confrontation has happened? Why do I keep coming into the cycle? Or do you just finally say, this is not mine? Or I don't need to do this anymore. I don't need to keep fighting. And that is the identity. The identity is the choice. The choice to keep digging or the choice to stop digging. And to know that you can have that choice. And the other thing that I want to talk about with this is the concept of, especially for women who have this placement, because I can speak from that point of view, that there are power struggles that happen here. And there's a deep need to keep pushing into the power, pushing into the need for power. And sometimes it can be something that is external and it feels tyrannical. But that's only in its extremes. I think that for women in this position who have some Pluto aspects can sometimes feel like they want to stay far from tyrannical, so they keep themselves very, very, very hidden from their power and from issuing out that power. So there is a level of a spectrum where you don't want to take it too far, but there is also the ability to understand that it's necessary, that you're almost called to do it for the generation. For the generation, you have a message of power that could be influential, that can empower a lot of people who don't have it. The psychological depths that you have gone can be healing to others. So for women, I think that we can also struggle in relationships who have this Sun-Pluto aspect, because in this society and matrix, a woman's power is confined to certain things. And especially when it comes to women versus female versus male, there could be a very distinct power of the sexes here. And so someone who has challenging aspects with Sun and Pluto might sometimes find that they have power struggles with the opposite sex. They might even have power struggles with their actual, with the same sex. And so there's a journey here that is to be revealed about that power and how to actually direct it towards the things that you desire in life. And so part of the process here is knowing that you can choose how you want to operate your sex. And this is something that is a taboo subject, but people who have this placement might understand how deep the well goes and how we're all one, right? So if we're all one, then we can all choose how we want to move, how we want to operate. So there's a level of understanding the power moves of the genders and what are the distinct sexual powers of the genders, and being able to access either one of your choosing. But with that much responsibility, comes, with that choice comes responsibility, a deep responsibility. because with any specific move, it could also turn toxic. It could be something that you become addicted to, or something that is out of hand, tyrannical, or too extreme. But you can stand at the crossroads of this and be able to choose to operate on whichever sexual powers you want to with this aspect. So you may want to choose wisely and think about what is your long run, because this is about also empowering a generation. The power of influence here can be dynamic once the individual has been able to overcome all of the toxic shit that they have bottled up and underneath layer by layer. And then once you have dug down to all of the layers, now you have more choices. So now you have more choices. And so these aspects, I wanted to bring up like an example of what influenced me to talk about this was the idea of being a woman who is too powerful for a man. If you choose to be, in that position or in this example, you may identify with it. If you don't, it's just an example for you to understand the power roles and genders, right? So in this society, a woman who is very thoughtful, very psychologically in depth, and may have these traits that could be intimidating to some men, right? That she may actually have to learn how to be more feminine in order to abide by the societal roles. But it is in the true understanding that it is a power move to quote unquote be more feminine in these rules that she has to take a step back to understand. Basically, you're having to be somebody and play a role that you understand is confined. But through the understanding of the confinement, of the imprisonment, you are actually free. Because then you could choose a different confinement. You could choose to be a woman that is dainty. And you could literally become that. You could say, okay, well, I am just too intimidating to these men. I'm going to be more dainty. And then you will just go ahead and literally shift your entire psychological consciousness to support that idea that you are now a more dainty woman. So the understanding that there are imprisonments, but then there are choices to be made about those imprisonments in the confinements of sexuality and gender roles in society. This is also a placement that someone who can be a father figure to many people, to all of the genders. They have the mind of embodying, a regenerative concept of what could be masculine. There's a feminine aspect to it too, and it regenerates the power of, actually it brings the aspect of regeneration, which is itself feminine. So this is a very interesting placement, and I wanted to give my 2 cents on it. And so for those who have the more challenging aspects, these would be some of the things you would struggle with. And those who have the easier aspects, it might be something that these people may not even think too hard of, that they already know already and operate in this manner.